What does it mean to be a leader? What does it entail? What does it take? What does it mean to be a good leader? What does it mean to be a bad leader? Let's find out together in the first episode of Arcane. So, this study of the meaning of leadership and the burden of responsibility will be carried by two characters in this episode, Vi and Vander. How so, will you ask? And I will answer, patience, my friend, it's coming. The episode opens up with this idea being put right in front of us, with Vi taking responsibility to guide Powder despite the fact that she's terrified of the horror of war happening around her. Even when Vander approaches them, even though both sisters are flinching in fear, Vi still slightly places herself in front of her sibling. This is put forward to show us that she has a natural tendency and temperament for leading. But instantly the pink-haired girl collapses due to the weight of her emotions, and Powder is the one comforting her. This shows us two things. The first is that being a leader means taking a lot of weight on your shoulders, because if you can't be the pillar that holds all the lost souls around you together, who is going to be? If you will, there is a necessity for strength, but most importantly, for sacrifice. And even if it doesn't represent what actually is going on within you. Some things that a little girl amidst chaos should not have to do. Which naturally leads us to the second point. Vi is a natural leader to Powder, but she doesn't actually understand yet what it entails, or even how to do it. Enters Vander, who sees the two lost souls in front of him and decides to literally drop violence in order to take them under his wing. Already, Vander shows a lot of the traits that form the formidable leader he is going to be. Self-control. If you can't keep it together yourself, how do you think you'll be able to keep a whole bunch of people together? Introspection. If you can't look within yourself to better yourself every day, how are you going to be able to lead people properly? And compassion. How are you supposed to expect your people to be good to one another and look out for each other if you can't do it yourself? We then go to a time skip where we find the two sisters again, carrying on a big stake mission being Powder's first job. And already with this time skip, we see from the get-go how much Vi has learned about leadership. Let's analyze this scene together to prove it.
Alright everybody, follow me. Just don't look down.
First, she leads by example. She's the first one to do the jump, to take the risk and pave the path in her comrade's stead. When doubts start to creep in among her troop, she dissipates it immediately and takes control of the conflict by shutting up parasitic comments and invigorating Powder with bravery and reassurance. Even when the little girl is about to fall, Vi is there to give the last push for success. Powder's done the essential, so it counts as a win. Vi truly made the best come out of her, a mark of excellent leadership. Also, notice that when the time comes to run away, she's the one leading the way again and finding ways out. However, not everything is perfect in her demeanor. When the thugs surround them, she gets upset real fast instead of keeping her cool to keep the situation under as much control as possible. Clago has to settle things down in her place, which shows some flaws in her leadership still. The following scene is an in-between. She's ready to fight for her crew, literally, which is good in a way, but she loses hindsight over the situation and Powder is put in danger because of that. And in the end, none of the loot was kept. You could thus argue that this was the wrong choice by the pink-haired girl to maul that guy's head. And thus ends the first part of the episode. For the second part, Vi will actually share the spotlight this time with her protector, Vander.
You folks need anything? Leave us. You sure about that? Sounded to me like...
Piss off.
Oh. I think I know what you need.
You don't seem to listen,
A
Barman.
bit of advice. Don't threaten the guy who pours the drinks. So you're Vander.
Vander's introduction is very interesting because not only does it show us that he's better than Vi at some leadership skills like self-mastery by not getting upset or placing boundaries effectively by threatening the traders efficiently, it also shows us new qualities that a good boss must possess. Wit, with the banter he has and the funny way to present things, but also some aspects of Vander are depicted in a more subtle way, such as his popularity and influence by having the whole bar backing him up, or his strong consistence by showing him smoking something that is described as vile. It's a funny use of drugs to show that the character has been through some dark alleys in his life to casually smoke something like that. It gives depth to the character in subtle ways. And it doesn't end there. Vander interacting with the children is in the same vein.
What the hell were you thinking?
We learn in one sentence that he's got a good information network, deducing skills, and you can't take him for a fool. But most importantly, we get to the main point of the episode. The experimented leader teaches the young, promising chief.
If you want to be mad at me, but you're the one who always says we have to earn our place in this world.
I also told you time and time again the North Side's off limits. We stay out of Piltover's business.
Why? They've got plenty while we're down here scraping together coins. When did you get so comfortable living in someone else's shadow?
Everyone out.
Uh-oh, you done fucked up, Vi. As Vander lectures Vi about responsibility for her comrades, you understand that she doesn't really get the big picture of the situation between Piltover and the Lanes, and the fact that the situation is very fragile and could explode at any misstep. Her outrage and feeling of injustice makes her lose sight of things, of the hindsight, and it also shows us that she's got a lot to learn still. Her outrage even turns to arrogance.
Those kids look up to you.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but you don't know. When people look up to you, you don't get to be selfish. You
not-
say run, they run. You say swim, they dive in. You say light a fire, they show up with oil. But whatever happens, it's on you.
I mean, need I say more? Vander reminds us that violence is never constructive and that it should always be kept as a last solution when it comes to being a figurehead. If you show the way and people follow you, if you show violence first and foremost, chaos is going to ensue. This part speaks more broadly about Vander's wisdom, another important trait of being a good boss. He's cautious over being greedy and shows care for his adopted daughter. Even though Vi is a leader herself, she now completely gives her confidence to Vander, showing the difference in level of experience between the two. You'll see though, Vi learns quickly, because in the next passage she's shown getting an element of the group back on track after misbehaviors, talking about you, Milo, while sticking up to a member that shows effort and goodwill but is not on par with the others skill-wise yet. Powder. After all, she's learning from the best. Talking about the best, what is he up to now?
Yeah, it's exactly who you're picturing in that thick head of yours.
You think my head is thick?
Just past the average.
Listen, you shady
How
son of a...
about you go for a little walk, Marcus? Cool off a bit. Go.
Again, it is impossible to unbalance that man, even with very aggressive and disrespectful behavior. Here we have a sweet other parallel of another leader wannabe, but not wise enough, with an actual leader that knows what she's doing. It serves for us to see what Vi could become down the line if she keeps going on the path of anger and resentment, and refuses the lesson of wisdom of those with more experience than her. This scene also presents a very interesting dilemma between love and duty. Do you remember what Maester Aemon said in Game of Thrones about that?
Love is the death of duty. And what is duty against the feel of a newborn son in your arms? Or a brother's smile?
Vander has a choice to make between love and duty, and it seems like he chose love. Yeah, even Vander is not a perfect textbook leader. Puts into perspective his role as a mentor to Vi. He's not perfect.
I'm not a fighter.
You don't have to be. Look, I've got these. And you've got those.
They never work.
They will. Come with me.
What?
Come on.
We also get a last scene for Vi and Powder, where Vi shows humility and understanding by showing the little girl her own past mistakes. And she also takes the time to acknowledge Powder's strength. We end on a note of Vi showing ever more great promises as a chief, a touching leader who cares for her tribe that we can get behind.
And one day, this city's gonna respect us.
To finish this study, we have one last scene sneaked in the end that makes a good point about another kind of leadership with Silco's character. His way of leading is using fear to get what he wants from people, while knowing how to pat people on the back when he got what he wanted from them. One hand rising to strike while the other is caring. We'll see in the future of this series what this kind of leadership will lead to, and we'll then be able to oppose it to Vander and Vi. To draw a bit of a conclusion for this episode, and this video in general, we've been able to see two sides of the same coin. We're seeing a young, promising lion who's trying his best to become the best leader he can for his tribe, and on the other side of the coin we have the experimented veteran of a leader that shows her the way. It allows for the writers to show a lot of different qualities and flaws that a leader can have, and that makes him good at what he does. It also allows to put into perspective what a leader is there for, and most of what has been put forth in this episode is that a leader is there for his people. As you can tell, I found this first episode of Arcane very, very interesting, and I can't wait to see the rest. It's actually not the first time I see the first couple episodes of this series, but I'm rewatching them now, and I am not disappointed. I already have my ideas about the second episode, so I think we're gonna find each other again for that. In the meantime, see you for another one.